Great to have you join us on the program Biotechnology in Focus. This is our own way of sensitizing the general public on biotechnology to allay criticisms and fear expressed by many. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. Now, before we begin, let us play you this feature to set the tone for this edition of the program.
Environmentalists and scientists say the only way to achieve economic growth, food security and sufficiency, as well as sustainable environment, is through innovation of safe and technological means of maximizing available land resources to increase food and fiber production. This is against the backdrop that biosafety is paving the way for safe and sustainable environmental management, agricultural development, and economic recovery the world over. Statistics show that the world's population is estimated to reach 9.2 billion by the year 2050. Experts estimate that food being very essential to feed this population, the overall production will have to be increased to 70%, as food security and sufficiency is crucial for the good health, peace, stability and survival of any nation. They said for the African region and other developing countries, Nigeria inclusive, food production needs to be doubled to feed the poorest and food insecure population, pointing out that this is where smart science and modern biotechnology comes in, and of course, biosafety.
We will be and we will occupy as a nation the position that we truly deserve in being able to come up with our own safeties, with our own responsibilities as a nation in food security, as we have said at the end of the day. I would like to stress that experience is also gained increasingly in Europe. I've read recent reports in Nigerian press as well as in other African countries that Europe rejects GMOs. Well, friends, I can state now that that is not the case. There's 4 European countries that cultivate GMOs, not many, and it's only involving one product, genetically modified maize. But Europe, as a trading bloc of 27 countries, has approved more than 80 products as safe for food, for animal feed, and for processing in food products and animal feed.
The Nigerian government's focus on revitalizing the nation's economy through agriculture remains unflinching. And as a demonstration of this commitment, the National Biosafety Management Agency is established to enable Nigerians benefit maximally from the practice of safe modern biotechnology.
And because of these issues of GMO, people have confused biofortification with GM foods. And therefore, the effort we made as a society to sell these crops to the populace, to our farmers and other end users, just came crashing because of the debate on GMO. The National Biosafety Management Agency has the responsibility to ensure that the practice of modern biotechnology and the use of genetically modified organisms, which are products of modern biotechnology, do not have any adverse impact on the conservation and sustainable use of biological diversity, taking into account human health. The agency's emergence It's one of the greatest things that ever happened to this nation. We want to say the agency's existence has not only been in existence, but the agency has tried as much as possible to convince Nigerians of what they can do to protect them from any adverse potential effects as a result of the use of the technology.
These experts assured Nigerians of the protection of their health and the environment by the National Biosafety Management Agency on matters concerning genetically modified organisms, GMOs.
Up next is our segment on public perception. Let's have a cross-section of the public air their views on today's topic, sustaining a rapidly growing population.
I don't know whether it is the government who is not supporting, because we have to create an initiative whereby the youth will adopt farming than looking for white-collar job, which is not available as of now. So I think the government should also try to create awareness, more awareness, so that the youth can also adopt it, so that, but if not, as at now, there's no way the Nigerian farmers can feed Nigerians.
I believe Nigerian farmers can, because they have the manpower, they have the infrastructure, they have the income, they have the cash at hand, So I hold the view that Nigerian farmers can, feed the population.
We have farmers in Nigeria that can produce enough food for the nation. But lack of input is a major constraint that is even bringing their morals down. If government can support them with enough input, encourage them, provide a market for such, I believe they will pick a courage and start producing what the nation is required of in terms of that aspect. I believe in Nigerians we have enough fertile land that can accommodate food crops that can sustain the required output for the nation.
We have young school leavers who read agriculture. They should do that. They can do that if they are well encouraged. Well, the farmers should be encouraged. That's what I think. If they are well encouraged, fair enough. There will be enough food for Nigerians and for exportation.
We the youths, they are not really encouraging us to do that. We just believe or just buying things, when you have the money, buy those things. You can't even, in fact, perhaps I can even equally say that we youths here, but we're lazy on our own parts too, in terms of farming. I remember those days, perhaps that I just see me now. I remember those days back there, my father used to take us to farm. We hardly buy things in the market. But when I see technological age of these days now, making youths, most of them want to make sharp money, they're not even after going to farm. When you tell them, let's go to farm, I don't know, how can I do that?
We black people, our culture is farming. So I think we can farm. Because the rate of this local rice now, everybody is going into farming now. Even me as well, in my personal house, I have a small farm that I can just, these little things like pepper, vegetables, I do that. So I think, yes, of course, we can as well stop importing rice and based on this our local rice, because it's more preferable, no preservative and other things. It's hygienic and healthy for us than those imported ones. Because nowadays we hear about plastic rice and all that.
I don't think it's possible. It's not possible for us to do such a big farm because we don't have the equipment. We don't have what it takes to do such farming system. Except maybe the government will turn the other way around to make sure they import this. It's not going to work. I would suggest that the federal government has to do something about that. They should import equipment, to enable these things to work out fine. You can't just say people should dash into farming without making preparation for it. It's not going to work. If you want to invent in anything, you have to make preparation for that thing. So that is just what I think. What I think is that they should be able to provide those equipment, those tractors to enable us to do farming and all the whole thing, like the fertilizers and all that thing. They should put them in place. If not, it's not going to work.
Nigeria has enough land. We have the money. If we are ready to release it, we have what it takes. All we need is just people that are willing and sponsorship. There are lands everywhere. Our soil is very good, and I don't think there's nothing we can't grow in Nigeria. Instead of importing, it will also help our economy. Like if we can develop ourselves to a state where we can start exporting what we grow in the country to other countries, it's going to really help our economy. It's going to really help us as a nation.
No doubt your knowledge has been enriched tremendously by the views expressed by our respondents. But why don't we go for a break at this point? When we return, you will meet our guests.
Did you know that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe and do not pose any risk, hazard, or danger to human, animal, and the environment? Neither do they cause cancer, infertility, sterility, tumor, or any adversity. There is safe use of GMO drugs like insulin, vaccine, rapid diagnostic test kits for malaria, HIV, hepatitis, and so on. The safety of GMOs is certified by the World Health Organization, WHO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, the National Academies of Science globally, the Royal Society, UK, and over 110 prize Nobel laureates. GMOs are safe, effective, and certified by MBMA in Nigeria.
This message is brought to you by the Nigeria chapter of the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, OFAB, supported by the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA.
Good to have you back on the program Biotechnology in Focus. Our regular segment on the program is our guest of the week. Please join me to welcome Dr. Nasiru Ibrahim. He is the Acting Director, Agricultural Biotechnology Department, National Biotechnology Development Agency. He is here to enlighten us on the subject. Good to have you join us on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi.
Now, by 2025, the world population will grow by 1 billion and another 1.2 billion by 2050. With this, there will be increased demand for food. How can biotechnology help the global challenge?
Biotechnology, in essence, is the employing of plant and animal using breeding techniques to produce crops and animal. But traditionally, method of crop production and animal production has been through pollination and crosses of different flowers of desired trait. But the problem with this traditional method of breeding and crop improvement, it has limitations. It is time consuming. It requires large capital input, large space, and labor. Moreover, the time that is required to evolve a hybrid using traditional breeding method is very long. For instance, in tree crop breeding, for you to evolve a hybrid, for example, Gang Arabic, you understand? If you are going by the factor of crop forum by traditional breeding, we have to evolve a crop hybrid at least 7 pillar generation. What I mean is that you have to find a desired trait on a crop or desired character, for instance, yield in Gang Arabic. So we have to make crosses using flower, using pollination. And you have to select your first generation, and the gestation period for Gang Arabic is 7 years. So after you collect, after you make the crosses, you get your F1 generation, which is first hybrid from the crop. You have to recross it up to 7 cycles. And for you to do that, you have to even assess the yield of the yield that you are assessing. So at least you have to assess the yield maybe for 4 years or 3 years. So when you multiply 4 years times 7 years, it's roughly maybe not less than 45 to be able to evolve a hybrid, because the limitation in traditional method of breeding crops and animals. But in biotechnology and gem technology, you understand, we can jump the stages by going directly to a trait or character that is desired to improve, take it from the greater species, you understand, and make genetic engineering to evolve your own particular crop.
Okay. Now, climate change will reduce availability of water and introduce new challenges. What impact can biotechnology have on this?
Biotechnology has a serious impact on it. For example, there was overflooding that destroyed our rice field some time ago. So now there's newest rice research project going on as I'm talking now. is a newest rice project is a nitrogen efficiency, water efficiency, and drought tolerant rice. So after this successful project, farmers will not have to suffer, will not have to worry about lack of water, dry spell, maybe plenty soil on the land, on all other things. So we have been working on all this one now.
Okay, now another issue is environmental degradation and human activities, which has made food security a global concern. What impact can biotechnology have?
Okay, on the aspect of global impact on environment using biotechnology tools, there's also a lot of things going on now as I'm talking. For instance, there's a particular aspect of biotechnology that we call bioremediation. That bioremediation is using microorganisms, using biotechnology tools to degrade oil spillage in the oil producing area. Also, another aspect that make biotechnology friendly to the environment is that to our findings, over $400 billion is to spend annually to purchase pesticide that will be used against pests on our crops. So these pesticides, they are themselves harmful to the environment, they are harmful to the users, they are harmful to the whole ecosystem. And yet, after spending that amount of money, over 250 billion US dollars has been recorded when you quantify the yield lost after the application of the pesticide. But the biotechnology now, in biotechnology we produce pesticide tolerant and pest resistant crops using biological tools. You understand, like when you look at BT cotton project that is going on. Now, even some other countries have started using, like India, Burkina Faso are embarking using BT cottons. Because what happened, the major problem that reduce yield in cotton is a bollworm. So that bollworm, there is a bacteria in the soil that compare the resistance against that particular insects.
Okay.
And it increases it tremendously, and it reduces the use of pesticides that destroy our environment and ecosystem, and even affect even the users of the pesticide.
Okay, Professor Nasser, with biotechnology, farmers can adopt the greenhouse technology to grow large varieties of crops with as much or even higher yields than large hectares of land. How is this?
It is very possible and it's very reliable. Because major problem in crop production is the environment. You cannot control the environment in crop production. So what if you want to have a greenhouse? You provide all requirements that are outside in that particular greenhouse. You provide water, you provide humidity, everything. So by using greenhouse, we don't expect any crop because all the conditions are there. You make it possible to the plant to grow without any problem. No catastrophe, no any other thing.
Okay, now in view of Nigeria's venture into biotechnology, have we been able to move from research to commercialization? And if we have, you had mentioned BT cotton and I think you mentioned another crop. Now, which other crops or products have been commercialized and what impact is this having on the Nigerian economy?
A lot of crops have been commercialized and are in use. At least, I think, more than over 10 million hectares of land is being cultivated by GM crops now across the world.
No, particularly in Nigeria.
But in Nigeria, you know, the process of commercialization of GM crops had some stages because of the fear, because of the peer religious concern, ethical concern, legal concern, even cultural concern. It has to go a series of company trials to make sure that whatever we're doing is true to type. So we have to undergo, we have to apply it to National Biosafety Management Agency for the farming that this is what you are going to do. But I know very soon that BTK will be released for use.
Okay, now how can the application of this technology help to improve farmers' income? Because I think that is actually very important.
Using biotechnology, there is a drastic reduce in cost used to purchase pesticide and herbicide using GM crops. Like in BTO cotton, why you're going to make like 60 price, you don't need to do 60 price now. So all the money is going to save. Then also the labor, you understand, is also reduced drastically using biological tools. And also other ways is that we use to produce some plant using tissue culture. And that tissue culture, we have another upgraded method to tissue culture, which is temporary immersion bioreactors. So the tissue culture itself is like a conventional method of macro propagation, mass production of plant, understand, for distribution. But using tips, you can be able to produce multiple of plants that you can take to the field in short possible time.
Okay. Now, there's this issue, Professor Nasser, I would like you to address, and that's the smallholder farmers. Now, you know they constitute the majority of Nigeria's farming population. How much sensitized are they? It appears Nigeria is still lagging behind as more countries, including Kenya, are advancing this new technology.
No, in my agency, National Biotechnology Development Agency, we have open forum on agricultural biotechnology, which is OPAP. That OPAP is in charge for the distribution of information, even bringing farmers together. We have a lot of linkages which happen, all farmers association of Nigeria. You understand? We have been reaching out to them, all the farmers group. We have been working together with them. We have been given series of training, workshop, and other things.
Okay,
we have been in contact with them.
But looking at Nigeria and other African nations, how well are we doing? I know Kenya is fast advancing in biotechnology.
You know, the reason why Kenya is faster is that our biosafety regulation was come into like just last year. So, and without having a body that can regulate the activities of GM technology, there's no way you can operate freely. So it's only last year that National Biosafety Management Agency, understand, has been established. The agency was established last year.
So what about the earlier question I asked? You know, talking about the smallholder farmers, because they constitute the largest farming population, and if they are not sensitized on biotechnology application, how do you intend to actually sell this new technology to Nigerian farmers?
Okay, we have been in contact with a lot of farmers group. Even the major umbrella, which is all farmers association in Nigeria, we have been working with them. In fact, I think they are even going for a training at Cornell University, organized by Alliance for Science, and Bill Foundation. They are going for a training there.
So you believe that there's much advancement?
There's more advancement. There's more advancement.
Okay, Dr. Nasser Ibrahim, I must thank you for being our guest. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge with us.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, we have been speaking with Dr. Nasser Ibrahim, the Acting Director, Agricultural Biotechnology Department of National Biotechnology Development Agency. Well, I have enjoyed myself, and I hope you did too. I'm hoping that we will do this together again, and I assure you it will be very interesting. Thank you for watching the program. I remain Ifeanyi Okafor, and bye for now.